Overnight oats are super convenient, but they can sometimes taste bland and mushy, which is why I came up with some tasty hacks to make my peaches and cream overnight oats that are full of flavor and nutrition. I'll show you how to quickly toast your oats to bring out their earthy flavor and enhance their texture. Then we'll make a creamy honey yogurt and super simple almond butter caramel sauce to drizzle over the top. These oats can be easily prepped to quickly enjoy on a busy morning, but I'll also show you how to beautifully style them to serve for a special breakfast or brunch. One of my hacks to getting more flavor out of your oats is to toast them first. And it only takes a few minutes, and it makes a big difference for not only enhancing their flavor, but also giving them a little bit more texture. You could toast a large batch or small batch of oats. I'm gonna go ahead and toast 2 cups, even though this recipe only calls for 1. But then I'll have an extra cup that I can use later in the week. You'll want to begin by adding 1 tablespoon of butter per cup of oats. Since I'm doing 2 cups, I'm gonna have 2 tablespoons of butter. Then I'm gonna microwave it for about 20 seconds. Then you'll want to add about 1/4 teaspoon of salt per cup of oats. So I'm gonna go ahead and add 1/2 teaspoon for 2 cups. Then I'll simply add in my 2 cups of oats. And then I'll give it a good stir to coat all the oats in the butter. And then once the oats are mixed, you're just gonna pour them onto a baking sheet with a piece of parchment paper and then just spread them out nice and thin. That butter makes it smell a little bit like popcorn in here. Now this is ready to go into a 350-degree oven for about 12 minutes or until the oats start to turn a really golden brown. So here's the oats that just came out of the oven, and I allowed them to cool. And using the parchment paper makes it so much easier to be able to lift all your oats up at once and then transfer them to a bowl. To assemble your oats, you'll just need a jar or container that has an airtight lid. And then you'll add 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, 1 tablespoon, generous tablespoon of maple syrup. And for flavor, we'll add 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then I like to mix these ingredients together before we add the oats and the milk. Next, we'll add 1 cup of milk, and you can use your favorite. Mine is almond milk. And then we're going to add 1 cup of our toasted oats. And then you'll want to give it a quick stir, and then screw on your lid, and into the fridge it goes. It can be ready in about 4 hours, or you can leave it in overnight. Here's a jar that I made last night and just took out of the fridge. And you can see how well incorporated all those ingredients are, and our oats have soaked in all that delicious flavor and liquid. Now to add the cream part of our peaches and cream, we're going to make a really simple honey yogurt. So I'm gonna start with 1/2 cup of plain Greek yogurt. Then we'll add 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, generous tablespoon of honey. And then we just simply mix these together. That smells so good. And now's a really good time to do a quick pinky test to test the sweetness level. You can add a little more honey if you think it needs to be a little bit sweeter. Now I'll show you how easy it is to make a really simple almond butter caramel sauce. Now yes, this is optional as well, but definitely takes these oats to another level. Start with 1/4 cup of almond butter, 3 tablespoons of maple syrup, and 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. And just take a fork and mix these together. Now it might not seem like it at first, but after about 30 seconds, this will combine to be smooth and creamy. There we go. Oh, that looks so good. I think this deserves a pinky test too. And now we can prepare our peach. And now I have a stone variety, which does not cut in half and split open real easily. So in order to get the seed out of this kind, it works best if you hold up your peach like it's the earth, and then you take your knife and you make your cut around the equator of the earth. And then you hold on to the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. You give a twist, and then open your peach, and then the pit comes right out of 1/2 of it. Then you can give it a real easy little wiggle, and then twist the seed right out. So I'm gonna go ahead and finally dice 1/2 of my peach. Ooh, that smells so fresh and vibrant. And now we can assemble all of the components. Now, if you're enjoying these oats on a busy morning, you can simply take a bowl and then dish out about 1/2 of your overnight oats, and then scoop out about 1/2 of your yogurt, and then sprinkle on about 1/2 of your peaches, and then drizzle over it with your caramel sauce. And it will take about a minute to assemble and will taste absolutely amazing. But if you're serving this to guests as maybe a breakfast or a brunch, or you just like to have something a little bit fancy for yourself, then you can go ahead and take a clear glass. And then I like to start with about 1/2 cup of the overnight oats, and then add in a very colorful layer of some finely chopped peaches. And I want to make sure they get right up against the glass so we can see their beautiful color. Yes, I'm creating art with my overnight oats. And then I'll spoon on a nice generous layer of our delicious honey yogurt. That's gonna fill in all around those little sliced peaches. Slice up a few more peach slices, and I'll arrange these on top. Now we can give it a nice little drizzle of our caramel sauce on top. There we go. And now we have a beautiful jar of peaches and cream overnight oats. Now I hate to mess this up, so I'm gonna go ahead and just make myself a little sample bite. So I'm gonna take some oats and then drizzle on some of the yogurt, and then nice big slice of peach, a little bit of that almond caramel sauce. Ooh yeah. Oh my goodness, that is so delicious. There is so much flavor in that bite. First, I get the sweet juiciness of the peaches, and then I bite into the texture of the toasted oats, which are still nice and soft, but they're not mushy. And then I get all those delicious flavors that come from the cinnamon and the apple cider vinegar, as well as the vanilla. And then I get that creamy Greek yogurt with that little bit of honey, and then tasting that almond caramel sauce just wraps it all up in just a delicious nutty flavor. That is definitely emotionally satisfying because it's beautiful and flavorful and so delicious. But it's also physically satisfying because you're eating these clean, nutrient-dense ingredients, and it's all naturally sweetened and a great start to your day. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me in my kitchen to make these delicious peaches and cream oats. And if you'd like to see the full recipe card for this video, I've included a link in the video description below. And I also invite you to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you know someone else who you think would enjoy this recipe, please share this video with them. And I cannot wait to have you with me again in my kitchen next time.